Welcome, friends, to another practice with me. So if you guys don't know, my name is Joanna, also known as Just Another Flutist, and today I was looking for a piece of music to practice for you guys, and I saw this. At first I thought I would never do this in front of you guys because it's kind of boring. As you can tell from the title of this video, this is the Joachim Andersen 24 Instructive Studies for the Flute, Opus 30, number 20. Now, one of my earliest practice with me videos was Opus 30, number 19. That one I thought was really cute, so I had no problem doing that in front of you guys. This one is pretty boring. I will put a link to the PDF in the description below so you can follow along. Open it up and you'll see what I mean. Essentially, what we're looking at here is just grace notes. And we're going super slow. At least this is the editor's interpretation of this. It's supposed to go at quarter note equals 56. Guys, that is real slow. Ba, ba. Oh. We've got some syncopated business going on here. Okay, here we go. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, gosh. Ba. Ba 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 ba. Here's me just trying to figure out the first. As soon as I figure out the first bar, I would have figured out the rest of this. Ba 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 ba. No, that's not right. Ba 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Oh! I was reading this wrong. So there's little threes on top, so they're triplets. I was trying to do it like syncopated. This is not, no. No, Joanna. That's not how you do it. 1, 2, 3, da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, ba, 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 and it does this for the entire thing. Let's get a handle first of the main melody before we plop all of these lovely grace notes in, shall we? Right, I forgot to mention that the reason I decided to just go ahead and do this in front of you guys is because we're about being real here, right? And not all practicing is very exciting. If you play the flute seriously, you are going to have to study this kind of stuff. You have to. We're gonna go through the boring together. We will make it through together, and hopefully by the end of this, we would have learned something. All right, here we go. I already forgot how freaking slow this is supposed to be. Okay, so you guys notice what I'm doing? I'm getting that triplet beat underneath me first before I attempt this. And I am currently going to attempt at least the first phrase without the grace notes. I think I played some really wrong notes. I think I was playing this in B flat major instead of E flat. Let's try that again. That is one weird melody. So even taking out the eighth notes still sounds pretty weird. You're gonna see what I can make of this. This is a pretty weird melody. Well, let's put the grace notes in. Let's see if it sounds any better that way. For some reason it sounds better, except I need to now figure out what all of the grace notes are, because I think what's happening here is that the grace notes themselves create a different melody. So now I'm going to go back in and try to only play the grace notes. Here we go. Bass line, doesn't it? I think it is the bass line. I know why this sounds weird to me now. Because if this is the bass line, that means that this is in C minor, not E flat major. I should have checked at the bottom. Yeah, it ends with a C. So this is not in E flat major, this is in C minor. Now I'm going to go back and play the main melody with C minor in my head. Let's see if this makes any more sense to me. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to me. I'm going to play the grace notes again so I know what notes they're supposed to be. Now we have to put it all together. So I'm gonna go even slower now. Essentially, you're playing two lines at the same time. So it's kind of like playing piano, but on the flute, if that makes sense. Not bad. So this is actually proving to be a little bit more challenging reading it than when you just look at it, okay? When you look at it, you just think to yourself, oh my gosh, this looks so boring as heck. But actually, now we know we're playing two lines at the same time. I'm going to play it again just to see if I can get more used to it. Maybe this time what I'm going to do is pay attention to my fingers and how they feel, just so that I not only am thinking of them as two separate lines, but I also get used to kind of the sequence of fingerings too. It's sort of like committing to muscle memory, if that makes sense. That will also help it just feel more sane. Feeling better? I have to drill it a couple of times though, so that's what you guys are going to hear me do. Oh. Okay, so there's a one point in the middle that's like kind of wrecking me in like the second bar, I think. Yeah. Somewhere around where the A sharp is. I think I'm doing it right. I'm gonna do the whole phrase one more time, and I'm also getting used to it now. if you play piano, the skill of reading block chords really comes in handy here. I read the first note as an E flat stacked on top of a C. Second note is an F stacked on top of a C. So you have a minor third and you have a perfect fourth. And if you know what chords they belong to, that also makes it a lot easier too, because I know that the first bar here starts on your tonic chord. Your tonic chord has C and E flat. I'm reading it as like a combination of stacked intervals and chord progressions. So that helps with the prediction of what comes next. One more time and then I'm going to explore the second line. So first line. Sorry, that is a B natural. Let me just make sure I write that in. Ugh, pencil, come to me. I think I was playing it correctly, but I was doubting myself. It's that second bar. I need to practice the second bar more. Got to clean up that interval. I need to fix my posture too. I'm playing really terrible posture right now. I think that's better. Ooh, my tone is like going out the window suddenly. What the heck is going on? There it is. Okay. So it's passable right now. I wouldn't say it's like 100% comfortable with me. I would say maybe I'm about 85-90% comfort level. There's still about 10-15% where it kind of feels like I'm sort of like balancing myself precariously. I think it's time for me to explore the second phrase. So I'm gonna do the same thing where I don't look at any of the grace notes. I just want to know what the main melody is. So here we go. I almost feel like in that section there, the grace notes would be the actual melody there, because you see how like boring that was with like all the repeated notes. I want to do it one more time just to kind of get it in my head. Did I do one too many there? Maybe? Oh, it breaks the melody there. We have a string of eighth notes there, so I'm gonna mark that in. Tricky. It's hard to read it because there's so many grace notes, so it kind of like blurs your vision. It all kind of looks the same. Okay. Now we're gonna do melody of the grace notes. Oh, it repeats the F. Okay. Okay. The melody definitely switches to the grace notes in those last 2 bars I just played. That's really cute, actually. Now I'm going to attempt to play both the grace notes and the main notes as written. I'm going to go a tad slower just to allow myself some time to think through it. Oh, no. Ooh, that is very strange to put together. Well, a few more times, I guess. Oh, interesting. So I think I may not have been carrying over an A natural. I'm not sure. There's a B flat that I am having trouble remembering to do. No. I need to practice the last 2 bars of that by themselves a few more times. So I need to remember to not move my thumb back over the B flat thumb key in that last bar I played. So I'll put an X earlier just to remind myself to leave the B flat thumb on, and then I have to take it off. So I'm gonna slide off of it, and then I have to make sure that I keep off of it. Yeah, I think that's how we're gonna do it. Here we go. Nope, can't do it there. I would have to put it later on. Okay. Yes, the biggest confusion there was where my thumb should be on the thumb keys. Sometimes you have to figure that out. Like, maybe it's not that you don't know the notes, but it's more that your fingers are getting confused about where they're supposed to stay. I'm gonna do that one more time. Oh, I got way too confused there. I need to make sure I nail the 3rd bar in that phrase. Otherwise, everything will just go to crap. It might be that octave jump that I'm not prepared for. I'm gonna put a little bracket over that. fingers were automatically going to a C instead of an A right there. My brain is getting like so confused right now. Okay, so I can't let my brain rest. Once you've been repeating stuff like for a while, your brain kind of starts to get a little bit like lazy and being like, oh, you've done this a lot of times. You probably can do it without me like thinking for you. But no, for this kind of thing, you need to keep it on unless you've had it memorized. Oh gosh, I let my finger slide off of the thumb B flat. Tone kind of went to crap there, but oh, ouch. That hurts. My flute's okay though. Yeah, my flute's okay. Who cares about my tooth? Oh, I think there is also one point that I'm not used to. Yeah, okay. Oh, no, very wrong. That was an example of my brain just kind of turning off after a bit, so I had to flip it back on. Now I'm going to attempt to play the first two lines together. A lot of time has already passed doing this. But when you're looking at very confusing music like this, you kind of have to dissect it like this. A few stumbles here and there, but I at least knew how to get back on track really quickly. My thumb is still sliding off on the wrong spot, so I need to really make a note of where to. The whole first line, I actually don't need my thumb on whatsoever. It's not until like the second line that I even need my thumb B flat, I think. There we go. Nailed it. Maybe not the most musical yet, but that's just because I'm not used to the notes yet either. We're now going to learn the third line. At the rate we're going, we're only going to be able to learn the first section of this etude. The first section consists of the first 4 phrases. We're on the third phrase now. It looks like it's the exact same as the first phrase, but I'm just going to check it. It is, exactly. The nice thing about these kinds of etudes is that once you practice one line, chances are you've practiced a few other lines along with it because it repeats. Now let's figure out what's going on in the fourth line. You see what happened there when you don't explore it first? The first two bars sounds very much like all the other stuff that we've done, so that part wasn't too bad. But it was when it switched down to something different in the third and fourth bars there, that's when it was like, what? Let's properly explore this now. So no grace notes. I think it's modulating. It may not be modulating. I'm not sure, but it definitely is ending on the dominant. All right, so now to explore the grace notes. Yeah, I think that was right. Now we're gonna piece it together. See, it's so much easier once you've actually explored the two lines and then you put them together. It's kind of like on piano, how you, like, when you are practicing new music, you learn the right hand first, then you learn the left hand, and then you put them together. It's kind of like what we're doing right now. Oh, E flat. Not bad. Definitely not very confident in the third and fourth bars of this last phrase that I'm doing. I'm gonna practice the third and fourth bars here. Getting used to it. Definitely reading them as intervals, like stacked intervals, really helps. No. Octave there. One more time. I was rushing a little bit. More comfortable now, so that's good. I think it is time for me to attempt the entire first section here. So this is going to be the first 4 phrases, all the phrases that we just practiced. Let's see what happens. Played a B flat there as a B natural. Okay, but let's keep going. not bad. Definitely there were a few parts that I had some brain farts. I think what we need to do here is do it again. What I'm doing differently this time though is making sure that my brain stays on the whole time. I think I let my brain wander a few times too many. Oh, I'm doing it too low. My battery low light is flashing right now, but I am desperately trying to ignore it for now. I am going to go back and touch up a few parts, then I'll try and play it all through again, because there are basically some parts that I think my fingers forgot when practicing other stuff. It's as if the stuff hasn't like fully processed through my brain yet. Yeah, right there. Okay. Okay, so those are the two parts that I had to review. I guess we'll attempt this again. Yes, the battery is running out now, so I believe it is my time to bid you adieu. I intend on doing the rest of this for you guys, but maybe after a bit, just so you guys aren't so bored of like literally hearing me going da-da, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. It gets old after a while. I hope that was helpful and insightful for you guys. Let me know if you guys are working on this and how are you guys tackling this. Also, let me know what you guys are currently practicing. I was not expecting this to be as fun as it ended up being. As usual, if you guys like this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up and hit subscribe for new videos every Saturday. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get notifications of whenever I post. If you want to support me, head on over to my Patreon. Otherwise, you can catch me on my social media networks that are also listed down below. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.